Alright, welcome back to Celeste Strawberry Jam. Last time we did Drifting Deep, we did Berry 2, and then another berry, another room. The room just before this one, obviously. So now we're in a new room. This one seems harder than the last one, which I almost fluked, but then got stuck on the end a little bit for a while. Let's remind ourselves what this room has. We have an extended hyper into this bubble feather, dash down, feather down right, go all the way down, dash right, hit this, do a wave dash, dash into this, fly all the way around here, dash right here, do a reverse wave dash, hit this block, align pixel perfectly, probably demo hyper, fast bubble, do an ultra, into this bubble, we go up, we demo right, dash up, then lower me with two dashes, use one of them to hit the block to align ourselves for that pixel perfect gap, and then reverse wave dash, maybe back into the bubble again, but maybe just all the way around here to do a wall bounce, jump off this thing, do a neutral, align here, do a bubble ultra, dash here, hit this block with the bubble, dash again, get into this feather, feather well, dash right here, feather upright, all the way around, hit this block, using this double dash, we'll dash into this feather again, we'll hit this touch switch, go all the way around here, get two dashes, we dash once here, dash again into this bubble, down left into a wave dash, and wall bounce, upright, down, down right, down, left, down, right, bubble, upright, up left, bubble up, into this bubble, into this feather. You have to do a little swerve here, and then that's through. So pretty simple stuff. So it's not been a while since last time. Busy doing other stuff, like playing other games. But the new video for Alex Steiner just came out, and he was doing Zone 1 before the hard room and Kevin Tech Spam. And once again, we're getting that ultras, ultras exist. So, being unable to do it in the correct way. It's a continuation of what I said in the last video, which is that, oh, that does work. Doing the levels in that format, if you don't look up answers to rooms, and you risk not developing the routing skill, I think Alex has said before that routing is his favorite part of Celeste, but when you don't look at the correct answers after you input a solution, it'll say it's correct, but without the actual correct solution, you might misalign yourself with those future solutions. In this case, it's just kind of forgetting that rounded ultras exist, which is fine. He's doing much harder levels, and they won't have that type of leniency, they're not going to get away with it. And it also removes the rounded ultra practice and makes the rooms a lot tighter, which I think will hamper the enjoyment of the game for him. And I'm doing rounded ultras. Rounded ultras are one of my favorite decks in Celeste, so after doing Ivory is my first grandmaster, pretty much. I liked back boost and ultras a lot more. Alright, I'm gonna try going into that bubble again. I watched Indie Games Chris's playthrough. I think he interacts with the the chat and the comments a lot more. And so we'll also look up solutions. Which, wow, it's something fine to do, I guess, but I find war environment just playing the game as intended. Something that I feel is my sentiment and World of Warcraft is the same too. I usually like doing things by figuring them out. And when everybody expects you to know all the fights beforehand, it's a different type of enjoyment, I think. So that's why I usually like playing harder classes. I like difficulty in games. I prefer if all of the things that I did were pretty difficult. My guild only gets AOTC every season. So no mythic bosses, which means that there's no really severe challenge you can get from raiding. The challenge that I can get is what Mythic Plus, I guess, like pugging higher keys, but at that point, we're really doing a waiting game with trying to gamble for good teammates and stuff. Whenever I did do it, my success rate was like pretty good. I think I can confidently say that I'm a pretty good player. Usually, top or near the top of damage when I'm playing as damage. So for next year I decided to go as DPS. Maybe that'll help the guild perform better. But I fear that the guild will, regardless of how well we perform, maybe we can kill the last boss and like 10 pulls and people will still be missing after a kill. I think I dashed inside of that spike and that killed me. It's pretty strange. But regardless of how fast we killed the end boss, I feel like this guild is still going to be falling apart after that, and so enjoyment or rating will just be gone very quickly. Here's why I end up considering bubbles the way to go. Which is why I'm kind of considering trying to move up in ranks and join the Mythic guild. But on the other hand, as a student right now, I have a lot of time for myself. And so all my time could be dedicated to getting prepared for Mythic rating. If I were to join a guild, I'd probably be the core, a hardcore type of field, just because of my credentials. I don't have a ton of like amazing parses, which is something that I want to remedy playing damage next season. Maybe I should go a little bit longer and dash like upright and that instead of upright. Next year I want to see if I can push my damage. I think limit maximum from liquid. I said before, everyone goes through. Most of the good players go through like optimize their damage phase, which isn't the basis of why I want to optimize my damage, but it's something that I've kept in mind. It seems like a fun thing to do. I don't think I'll try to like optimize my damage like super hard, like washing pods. Purely like watching VODs and getting in streams, because honestly I don't like the concept of streams that much. But I'll do things like start buying flasks, buying potions. As a tank, in the last few tiers, whenever I was tanking, I could optimize my damage, but my damage is so low relative to other people's damage anyways, as a tank, that it seems pretty pointless. But yes, I could buy flasks, I could use potions, and maybe that'll increase my damage by like 5%, but as a tank, the only thing I need to do is survive, and the most critical thing that I can do is to stay alive, position the boss well. Damage is kind of secondary. Only really a concern if I'm out DPSing. Actually, it is a concern if I'm out DPSing other people. It says more about them than it does about me. But I never really optimize my damage. That is not where you're supposed to go. You should go downwards. Through this thing, might have to fall a little bit, but which is fine. This is mostly vertical. Drift left. I'm gonna dash right here, get into a new feather. Dash twice, and then into loop-de-loop. So this one doesn't seem that bad. It's just very long. I am pretty excited for Alexander to play this. If there is jank in this level, I don't think it'll be super severe. Yeah, most of those are pretty obvious in their routing anyways. So I don't think he's gonna have the same type of problems that he did in the heavy tech span levels. One thing that I've noticed is that Bob made a psychokinetic and heavy tech span kind of like with some of the gameplay. And both of these so far, while they're fun to go fast, Alex struggles with doing all the tech required. So, I wonder if that's something to do with it. I think Bob could have made Kevin tech span that all the ultra spots a little more tight. I don't think I would be mad about a speed requirement, without getting more speed. So forcing a Ultra in that spot, I think would have been better, but it seems like you can make do without using a Ultra, which is a pretty hefty shame. I wonder if there's any other levels in this lobby that uses Ultras before Ivory. Because it really is a very fun tech to pull off, but I don't know if there's any that appear before Ivory. Ultras as they are, if you're going to, roll like Ivory, it might be a little frustrating to know in which spots you're supposed to be going faster or not, since it's just a photo speed check at the end. One thing is like you can be creative, so you gain your speed. If you don't know the solution, of course you're gonna get a little more frustrated. I hope Alex watches the videos and gets the actual solutions for the rooms that he's missing out on. Well, flip side though, that rule apart from the one before the hard one. Was pretty well made. I've heard that there's a gameplay change in between, but it seems like Alex enjoyed most of it. I enjoyed the entire bit. There's a pattern, so I wonder. There was a talk about accessibility in the comments of Alex's videos, where his playthrough is his blind playthrough is a very good indicator of like how stuff can be more accessible to the average Celeste audience beyond just having a gym and having a library, you can have a lot better explanations within levels of how specific things are going to be done. Having hints for the player as to how you should perform some abilities and when you're doing the right thing or not. And I wonder, at what point is accessibility a good thing? Because that was always the mind that authors, it's their decision as to place difficulty as accessibility. Like it's in their discretion as to what could be done. But for stuff like learning how to do things and knowing like what's being expected of you, except in very rare scenarios, similar to colorblind options, I think they're pretty good. Accessibility. You know, like, it's very stupid to argue against accessibility in that regard. Don't go right there, I guess. Just wanted to make sure. Celeste has that assist mode, and there's been, of course, a lot of discussion around that. I heard the opinion that it's something that the developers of Celeste added in, and so I think it's fine. Some people, like Logan, think it's not fine. A lot of people that also like it. There's also a game called Tower Climb that Dashing did a video on. And that game had an easy mode where if you use it, you just get insulted at the end for the final boss fight, which is funny. Maybe that'd be her way of punishing assist mode. And there's also the World of Warcraft's assist mode in the form of like one-button rotation. For now, it seems like the one-button rotation has a pretty... It's not being used in situations where it probably doesn't warrant its use. Like people just trying out a spec for fun, people who are disabled in some way, which is good since if like a player who's trying their best and the temptation to use the orientation, that'd be the case where I'd be against it, but people are using it for like outdoor content or LFR. Specs and keys, and that's completely fine. As someone who plays tank and healer, it doesn't matter to me that much. And it's kind of funny that for competitive content like Mythic Plus and Raid are adding rotation helper that doesn't help with either of those rules. They graduate from being a DPS to a tank or a healer. It's sort of a shame because my position is that WoW's rotation system, pressing abilities and stuff, it's probably not very deep. I like the complexity of having to buy all those keybinds, learning what those do, and being able to just do them. Just recalling what they are. It makes you feel really cool when you pull them off, but with the one button rotation, it's like you only have your... You don't really look at wall bounce. And look at your DPS chart. understand the people who well, the main problem with the one button rotation is if people use it to, well, I just don't know why you'd have a one button rotation. You can be doing content that damage doesn't really matter. You don't really need damage for this type of content. We're not asking you to do top DPS and low mythic class 2. Even with bad gear, a suboptimal rotation can get through it. There are some people who said that one button rotation would be like a sizable DPS increase for majority of players. But I don't think I'm a majority of players. It probably doesn't increase DPS for me, but when I look at the damage charts after a key, even on push keys on my devastation effect, I have to go down first, right? Didn't look that closely to the vertical position of that demo there. Yeah. Assist mode. Celeste has an assist mode, one of them is invulnerability, I think. I'd say that invulnerability is the most problematic, but honestly all kind of the same really. Because the core aspect of Celeste, as I said, is that you're struggling alongside Madeline and along with these difficult screens after trying. You're able to conquer Madeline's fears alongside her. But as a vulnerability gets rid of that challenge in a way that isn't really the same with infinite jumps or infinite dashes. But I guess like infinite dashing and infinite jumps at certain levels they're pretty much the same with so I'm not sure what I'm talking about. Oh yeah, I also received Discord DM. As someone who likes Factorial, it might not surprise you to learn that I also like building farms in Minecraft automatically produce things. So I joined this TMC, Technical Minecraft Catalog, that speaks to try and document all the good designs that the community comes up with. It's been very good. Built a couple of their farms and they've all completely exceeded the needs of me as a single player in that single player role. Basically single player role. Just the other day I got a DM from someone in my community. Like, hey, you play TWD, right? Oh, I was here for someone else. And then still talk. Oh, man. You know, the whole deal. Shit talking to them a little bit. It's like pretty much an advertisement for this one game, which is really confusing to me. That's a lot of effort I go into just advertise a game for. I suppose what they're doing is like trying to invest in the long run to get me to play the game. But then I also have doubts that it's like actually an advertisement. while I had my doubts, the doubts are slowly slipping away day after day, based on their behaviors and some other normal behaviors, which included other people being involved. But it seems like a lot of effort to go through to just advertise the game. There we go. And drifting. Not bad. Let's see if there's a strawberry path in this room. I think there is. Does it go down? Does it go up? Probably not. This might just be a regular room. Yeah. Alright, let's see. Extended hyper, reverse super into a wall bounce, ultra into a pseudo ultra. Then we buffer this feather so we can feather around. You can just, now we have to slow feather all the way around here. A wall bounce, do a reverse hyper, do it very well. Do another weight dash into a upward dash or upright dash. Upright, do the feather, bubble left, feather, bubble left, do a corner boost. Hopefully that gets us far enough. We do up left into this bubble, we bubble up left, and then we do a left dash into this bubble, bubble right, do a corner boost to give us another dash so we can dash again. We get into this bubble, do a reverse wave dash. We do a demo into that feather. Then we align ourselves because of the dash. Back up again. Get this crystal. Hopefully the feather lasts long enough. I think it will. We dash into this once. Then we do a wall bounce. Go all the way around here. And then I think we'll have enough time to get into this bubble. And then this block will come up. We do a corner boost. We go up. And then here do a diagonal corner boost. Do right, down right, up right. Do what? Wall. Oh. I wonder if that's a return path. Down right, up right. Corner boost. Maybe that'll align us. I don't know. Those spikes are just to make the spike wall a little smaller. Down left, down. Do left, down, right, demo right, right, left, demo left, left, up, right. From this bubble, we do we go right, then we do upright, and then a demo hyper. Then into this bubble, we demo out of it right, get into that red bubble. Down left, get into this feather all the way down. We go into this very narrow corner. No, we down, circle around here. We should end up around here, and then we can just dash to the end. So, alright, pretty simple room, I'd say. Just a lot of corner boosts. Yeah, scams. Not really a scam. An ad is kind of a scam. Ads don't usually tell you. What? Are ads scams? I feel like ads usually don't. Well, scams always lie to you about stuff, but ads don't always lie. But back to getting scammed. Talk about TWD. Figured out it was a mobile game about Walking Dead. TWD stands for Walking Dead. So then, it's like, cool. I was being courteous and trying soul, so I downloaded the game and I was like, oh, this is just Clash of Clans. Other person started really pushing mobile game. It was like, it was kind of weird. Got advice from another friend, and they said it's probably a scam or an ad. And I would tend to agree, but this is a lot of effort to put into a scam or an ad. Making human connections and stuff. Convincing you to try out this game. I do wonder what's the incentive. Like, the thought that I had in mind, was like, they were trying to get me to join a clan in the guild, or like guild perks, and just inviting people to get into the game because they receive stuff in return. But I wonder if there's like a monetary incentive for them. Like something that the devs gave them to promote them outside of in-game currency. I don't know. But it was the first time that sort of thing has happened to me. Despite all my times and all the many different big public Discord servers that I'm in. I guess it's only because I just on a whim decided to accept the friend request one day instead of declining them like I always do. Maybe if I accepted all these friend requests from random strangers who are only in common with me on a single server, I'd make more friends. And help the individuals or not here, they just get me to play a game. I really just wonder what's in it in the long haul for them. It's like, I'm not interested in the game. I have pretty good self-restraint. Maybe I have too much self-restraint sometimes. I'd rather be watching YouTube or something. And I have a pretty decent list of things that I can just rewatch. Maybe we'll call this autistic. I would heavily disagree for a variety of reasons that I'm not going to elaborate upon. I'm not getting up dash, it's too fast. There we go. I jumped instead of dashed. That was the wrong button. I'm fine with just letting the game sit in my Google Play, as long as I don't get news that it's a crypto miner or something. It is 2 gigabytes though. Kind of a substantial amount of storage sticking to my phone. Not that my phone is doing anything else very useful. So, I think that as well. But still, it's pretty strange. It doesn't sound like AI, but maybe I'll do the AI test at some point. Maybe I'll send something that's slower. And not send the extreme gore. Tell them to take me out. Yeah, I need to do it. I need to do a corner boost. And it's kind of hard to focus when you're trying to talk about this stuff as well. But hey, raw. I'm not sure what to send them. Right now, what I decided to do is instead I'll just ask him about everything else except for the game that they're trying to advertise to me. Hey, trying to act all innocent about it. Like, hey, what are your hobbies? Do you play any other games? Maybe at some point I'll invite them into my Minecraft server. I don't know what I'll do. Actually, I won't annoy them on purpose. Because I'm not a terrible soul. I might, actually. I might be a terrible soul. I might annoy them on purpose. But before I decide to do that, just act all innocent. I'm just simply lost interest. You really can't trip me into playing games I don't want to play. I have enough self-restraint to not play games that my friends are playing. Enough self-restraint to not play games that my friends enjoy and they ask me to play. There we go. Now that's a right and a left. Do it again, but on the right. Also, this first bubble feather is, I think, what the gym is about when it talks about buffering these bubble gems, bubble feathers. Yeah. Hopefully, Alex makes the gym revisit. I think after the comments from this, I'm caught up to him, he'll do it. I think that was too early. I think fractured iridescence would be a much better time. I think that level only really has upright is not the way, probably just the right dash. Fractured iridescence only has the little, oh I missed the first dash, and it has a traffic light and the zipper blocks. And so there's not really many new tech in there, except that it's really like dash. Not many new tech apart from chain ultras, which are pretty natural already. I don't think there's any ultras in that level. I do wonder if he's going to take a break for having expand and to go do some silvers. I'd expect him to do so, and maybe get like 2 silvers, because 5th dimension, you know, probably don't even need to practice for that silver. It's very clear. It trains the same type of skill, more advanced levels demand. So if you're attuned to the more advanced types of levels, the 5th dimension should be an absolute breeze. I can't remember what it is after 5th dimension off the top of my head. I think it might be Logi Botany. I think that level has some great dashes and papers. That's when they want to start getting taught to you. I think Sea of Soap is in there also somewhere. So it's really not sure. Am I supposed to have another thing here? Oh, that's a reverse weight dash. Didn't see the block. Okay, there's a lot of reverses in here. My first time not getting in trouble with reverses is in Chromatic Glass. There's a lot of parts like that where the last room of Chromatic Complex really taught me to do reverses. And then Papyrus forced me to get better with Jellyfish and Ivory. Taught me to get better at Bacchus and Ground Ultras. Plumber made me a better player in general. And I really like the use of moon boosts. And, you know, he's generally going fast. as well as like pushing through Pummel in its entirety. That's also pretty amazing mental challenge. Yeah, Solar Express, Biotech, Unparalleled. I think a big thing for the enjoyment of these levels is like having to learn something new, getting good at it. That's what makes different games very fun. And for me, that's why, well, that's of course why I like typical games. Just said that. But I think a lot of hate on different games comes from, well, first off, assuming that you're someone who likes difficult games, you encounter something that you don't like in a difficult game, it's probably because it's not teaching you stuff. You feel like you're not learning anything, you're just waiting for the game to decide you're good enough, and like you have enough skill to beat the level, but for some reason or another, the game just didn't allow you to do that. Shouldn't have drifted up a little bit. That was pretty good though. It was a pretty tight corridor to navigate around. You do have to feather all the way to the block you have to destroy, of course. Difficult things. In this level, I'm getting better at consistency, and it's just a good general test for basic gameplay, basic reminder of how to play the game, because after Solar Express I stopped playing the game for a little bit. Yeah, that final swerve to the right is tricky. I should be really buffering this first feather a little bit more, like that. I also use keyboard controls for Celeste, which is just fine, of course. Usually when it comes to these things, I always use the 50-50 rule. Means that 50% of people do, 50% of people don't. Pretty consequential things like this. I don't know the exact number, but I feel like when you haven't figured, suggest 50-50, get a little bit more grounded. Always consider everyone close to the majority of people and do these types of things. Obviously, it ultimately doesn't matter what controls other people are using, and they affect your own. You just have to be courteous. As a regular dash, not a demo. Just to be courteous and understand if other people like different control schemes. I haven't really used a controller since like middle school, honestly. I had an Xbox 360 and a ton of different games on it. I was gifted by a cousin, the majority of which I just didn't like. It was like some FIFA sports games. Since I'm playing Celeste, you can guess the type of gamer that I am. The only game that was good on there was Plants vs. Zombies. Fantastic. I like the PvP mode. Shotgun Mass Fighter did a whole series on. It was fun. I wonder how Shotgun Mask is doing now. Before quitting YouTube. I would have liked to see more videos from him. One of the videos that he made about Crossbow was actually what for me to try out Crossbow Costco visit. You can do it. I'll start spending 100 hours in a single save trying to get 100% completion on a lot of things. I think those numbers can probably speak for themselves. And I might do a new game plus. Thought about doing a new game plus. Prepare that high mode. I think I normally get the motivation if I did it in another YouTube channel as well. Should have waited longer on that exit. I think that the other exit bumps you up a little. Maybe that would have saved me, but it was a kind of new record, so I have high standards. I have high standards when. Alright, that's it. Bubble corner boost. Kind of forgotten that section of the level. That section of the level. But I think we can just improvise from there on. I think like getting kind of longer. It's a fast bubble. Do that. I think I was getting a little tired from holding down my keyboard so hard. I bought this keyboard and mouse for $25 from HP, also known as Health Points. I'm someone who, well, my previous keyboard wasn't the best suited for these types of tight mechanical controls, or rather more specifically the input density, because they were just so noisy, so loud. That's why I like my laptop better. And it's less tactile buttons. Oh, I died there. That's strange. I think I remember that section now. You have to go down and do a little journey and get a double crystal, which will be fine. It'll take some getting used to. That's fine. About to dash. Should really do that. The HP mouse though, the HP keyboard is really nice. It's not the best, of course, could be better, but it's $25 for mouse and keyboard versus like $150. I think the previous keyboard that I had was like $70. It was good, but it got pretty dirty, and some of the switches were starting to fall off. Switches, the keycaps. One of them, I'm pretty sure, was the regular dash. One of them was the A key, funnily enough, even though A key is really not a key that I press often. The keyline that I'm using right now is VXC and up. After this, it's L, comma, period, and slash are the things that are remapped from up arrow. Because I thought to myself, well, yes, I could use the arrow keys, but wouldn't it make more sense to have all my fingers in the same horizontal rows as each other? And also, my arrow keys on my old keyboard were like falling apart as well, so I can make the switch regardless. The only feature that I left in my old keyboard over this one is that, well, it's a give or take. My old keyboard had the switches, and the keycaps I mean, which meant also that the keycap could fall off by themselves. I have kind of oily hands, and so sometimes the tabs would just stick to my hand, which meant that they'd come off. It's very distracting when you're trying to complete a celeste level and the key just like starts going up with you. And it's kind of even worse when like, it also goes out of sync so that you can't really press anymore unless if you put back the thing through the use of more than one hand. And so I bought this HP keyboard, basically an office keyboard. Now Celeste gameplay much more smooth. I can see myself using a controller, but I'm someone who likes dedicating all my fingers to like different things, and that'll be reflected in the game that I'm trying to create. It's a wrong dash button. Unfortunate. It's okay. I'm someone who likes binding all my keys to all my actions to a different keybind. So I don't think I'd enjoy it if I literally just had my thumb doing all of the actions. On Celeste. I would consider my thumb to be kind of a less precise agent. It's part of my hand. Okay, like, it's probably false. Probably have more control in my thumbs than in any other finger. But the thing about it, the thumb is probably like the strongest of the fingers. And so if the divs balanced my hands correctly, then in theory that would mean it also had the least amount of dexterity and control. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe they just sent everything that they had into the thumb, just spec literally everything into it. You know how weak pinkies are. Whenever I'm trying to type, and since I use the Dvorak layout, the L key is in where P would be on the keyboard. So instead of using a pinky for those types of outer bound keys, I just use my ring finger and just move my hand across a little bit. It's technically less efficient, but based on how I'm positioning my hand, that if I want to press it with my pinky, then I'd have to stretch my hand. Like, I have to reposition my hand and stretch my pinky finger in order to actually hit the key. I don't want to do that. So I kind of rotate. And also, it's like the pinky key. It's the pinky finger. So it's weak already. I'm going to be stretching it in order to hit a button. In order to just type something. Something's gone wrong. Regardless, regardless nothing. That's why I still shift my hand. This time I do it with my ring finger. So my ring finger is a little bit stronger than my pinky. Which makes it a little bit more ergonomic, at least in my way of doing things. If I really wanted ergonomics, maybe I should learn the format keyboard layout and see if that's like good for me. But at this point, I can't really be bothered. I have all the free time that I need in the world, but I'd like to do that. To spend that time wisely. Watching Pen Code's 5 hour, well, not Pen Code's, Bismuth's 5 hour ABC challenge video. And stuff like that. It's a much better use of my time than, making my body more comfortable, exercising, or, eating. Also heard of this 1 meal a day diet, and I heard of it from one master off TV. The biggest benefit, apparently, is just the will, having the strength of mind to only eat 1 meal a day, even when you're hungry. Apparently, that's the biggest benefit that people cite. For me, I'm already like kind of skinny, in spite of how much I eat, which isn't a lot, but it's still. And any other person, if you saw them eat the amount that I do, at least before I start cooking for myself, and even like, wow, there's a guy who eats this amount. It's probably like super fat. I'm skinny. My metabolism is very high. I just digest. Oh, I pressed the Windows key. Nice. It's fine. If I were on Linux, probably would have like closed Celeste instead. So, give and take. With that extra command. Invention time. That was a demo hyper. I should be eating more. Should be eating more proteins. People can survive with just like water and stuff. I think I'm fine with skipping a meal every now and then. There's probably like tons of disadvantages to skipping meals. One thing that you should never do, probably desync your body when it runs and what you're actually doing. From how I understand it, you can eat however many meals a day you want, you just have to be consistent about it. You can eat 3 meals a day and still have a bad eating pattern if you're eating them at all different times of day and stuff. Just eating when your body doesn't expect it. So, in my view, 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day, it's fine. Just don't be randomizing your meal intake time. It should be golden. And of course, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm randomizing my meal intake time if I'm going to be skipping meals, like lunch. Breakfast, that's one thing. Lunch? I feel like that shouldn't be something that you skip. Yeah, here I am. Instead of doing that, I'm going to be playing Celeste because at 1 PM my time, I like to upload that video, and after watching the same persistent problems appear, I've decided to go on to this here drifting beat and talk about it instead. It's probably a healthy coping mechanism. I'm not sure what there is to cover about. When near the beginning of Grandmaster Lobby, when I said that we might not be doing all the Grandmaster level, I was just, sampling them. That was when I truly felt what it'd be like to be following a large TV show or something and having it be cancelled. Because I wasn't really ever someone who was really watching TV, but watching any TV shows. I watched Sherlock, but that was after borrowing the DVD discs from the library, watching it on my own time after all the seasons have been released. 10 years after this show had been off. Other than that, I really haven't watched many TV shows, including anime. If I were to get into anime, I know it would be like a deep rabbit hole of spending the rest of my life on anime. But luckily or unluckily for me, don't only vibe with the art style of anime as a whole. And so, it just kind of give me that same give me disgust. I don't know. It's just that's just kind of cringe, I suppose. I'm fine with other people loving anime, but I can personally never really get into it. I think I'm fine to be disregarding the whole genre as a whole. If my problem is with the art style, which is like the defining feature. Speaking of art style, the WoW team, our team, they're super good at making stuff. I think the re-render cinematics they're okay, they're decent, I guess. But what I really liked was Worldbringers, those types of animations in BFA, in Lords of Draenor and Legion, the Worldbringers, the Harbingers. I was not there when those things released, but they look super cool to me now, even after all this time and having no emotional connection to the characters in them. The cinematics themselves will give you the emotional connection to those characters. Those types of frames that kind of feel like storyboard frames. Those are something that I feel like even like me, amateur, could maybe produce if I had the necessary determination and will to do so. I was trying to dash down, but too late about it. I missed the touch switch. Oh well. I don't think this will play me right. Touch switches are optional. Well, for me instead. But yeah, I really like the Harbingers art. Didn't really like anime style. The new one that they came out with or thing. And like those oil painted scenes. Those are really cool. I wish they did more of those. Thinking like maybe I could produce one of those for like my own characters, my own OCs, if you will. But I don't think. Oh, it ate my dash. It ate my dash, and dash came out. I don't know if the types of characters that I create would be appropriate. In the cinematics that World of Warcraft produces, they have pretty defining features of like origin stories and stuff. And I'm trying to think of the ones that my characters would have, but I'm drawing to a blank. All of them are very impactful in that way. You can kind of notice like general theme throughout them. And the whole pacing. Okay, that was just too quick on the demo hyper. Hang on, let me look at that thing again. I think you have to do that demo hyper pretty late. It's like I have to use the coyote frames, I think. Otherwise you get spiked. Yeah. And that's just a right and then a demo right, down left, and then feather to the end. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that this is a return trip from the strawberry. It won't be too bad. I think, is there 5 strawberries in this level? can... I know this level has dream blocks that appear later on. Even just watching that passion fruit pantheon with Taz. Oh, there's a couple of dream blocks here. I don't know where they came from. And I know there is at least one. Well, that was two, like, huh. I know there's at least one of room where it's just fast bubbling, the nightmare. Like the Geometry Dash level. Fast bubbling. It'll be very fun to do. Looking forward to that. Maybe I'll do that next month or something. Once Alex releases another video on the Belly of the Beast. And if he does unspeakable jank in order to complete the room by himself without the rock, and then getting back and getting the rock. And I feel compelled to make another Celeste Strawberry Jam rant. And I'll also talk about the dangers of AI in the modern scene, which historians will surely look upon in the 29th century, studying this era. I also have plans to like write books and stuff, but I think those plans should be preceded by reading books. Certainly, those would be probably a much better way to spend my time and play video games and watch videos. But when I have low energy, it can be a very nice distraction. These can be a very nice distraction to clarify. And speaking of distractions, in the subreddit that I'm in the curated Tumblr, there's usually a lot of discussion around stuff, like in general. One of them is the gender war, of course, pitting men against women. I have no foot in that race. I'm someone who spends like hours on end playing Celeste in war rooms. I don't think I'll be really concerned with those types of things. But one thing that I do want to say is like, just don't really like the word woman, you know, compared to men. That's why I prefer girls over the word woman, because it's one syllable. When you have two syllables for woman, it starts getting like bothersome, I think. If the society of women could come together and reinvent a word for women that was only one syllable, I think I'd be very joyed. So whenever I'm reading stuff, and I have a little voice in my head reading all of these things out loud, and having woman as two syllables just kind of cuts off the flow of the whole thing. I feel it's two pretty awkward sounds next to each other. I don't like it. I'd be even okay with being called boys. Being called a boy. Being called a guy. Instead of woman. However, I will not be calling women gals. It feels like if you call someone a gal, then you'll probably live in a deep red state here in the United States of America. So I will not be doing that myself. But guy, boy, man, men, those are pretty nice. pretty nice things and nice words to say out loud. What do women have? They have girls, they have women, they have ladies. Ladies is at least better, as ladies has ladies is two nice syllables next to each other. So it's a bit nicer to say. It has more flow than woman. Gentleman is also a pretty big mouthful. It has a cardinal sin of being, expression line. It has a cardinal sin of being 3 syllables long. Gentleman, but at least all of the syllables that it uses are it flows a little bit more nicely than how woman does. Also looked in the bookstore the other day, and they have like Scum Manifesto as part of the feminist gender studies readings, which is a big mistake. I would have liked to see. I would have liked to see that book on the shelves. Because the woke mob is really, really censoring us, not including that book. Whatever. One book that did catch my eye is The Trial by Kafka. I can really only imagine Kafka and The Trial as an extension of that video that the Onion posted about Grave Kafka Airport being voted the most hostile airport in existence. Dashing up right there. Shouldn't be doing that. I think you'll survive more if I didn't do that. But I read 1984. I've read Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I think I like Brave New World all of them the most. I also read Fahrenheit 451. Most of them were pretty nice books, apart from Fahrenheit 451. Yeah, I'm just not feathering good enough, and so I should just let myself start falling instead of trying to dash out of a feather. Also read Animal Farm. Read a little excerpt of Orwell's time in Burma. But didn't read the full book. Maybe I should. Those sorts of things, I think they're more a product of their time. Which is not to say that they won't be relevant, but I think I would learn much more from them if I was in like a class. I might just started doing stuff, I don't know what. I think I'd be better off reading them in a class environment where I'm like being guided on what reading. Because those things are really not easy reads. Those things have I also read The Metamorphosis in class, of course. A lot of these things are, I read them in class. They're from 1984 and Animal Farm. I had to read Animal Farm in class, but I already read Animal Farm before going to class, so I think I can call myself more superior than my classmates for having read that beforehand. I will say that there is a magical feel that is when you have done something or are better at something and then trying to do like a weaker version of it with other people, especially like rereading books, being like guided on annotations and stuff. Those are a special type of discomfort. Yeah, I demoed into that bubble, which took me up 2 pixels, I think, which is when I died. Yeah, there's a special type of discomfort that comes with going down in levels. and doing stuff that you're already familiar with. Like if I do this in Tetris, it's like watching people who are like brand new to the game play when you've played for thousands of hours already. Or in World of Warcraft, when I've pugged AOTC on my tunes already, but having to endure guild and doing prog, just failing at the mechanics over and over again. And I've seen how good the pugs can make it. I demoed into that bubble, I wasn't going to survive anyways. The positioning threw me off. I didn't expect to be there. I thought the hyper took me a lot further away in the bubble. Maybe I'll spend an attempt to find out if a hyper will be just enough to get me to the bubble so that I don't have to do anything else. Those are the types of things that you do when you don't have any save states in playing these games. I'm kind of like Alex in this regard. I'd prefer not to look up guides, and I prefer not to use save states. I don't want to. Okay, if I'm gonna be releasing my jump button, then maybe I should dash again. That place is pretty fast. That hyper is pretty fast. I don't expect a hyper to be that fast. I guess after a pummer, I should expect everything to be faster than they are. But yeah, I plugged AOTC on my worker like 2 weeks before my build killed it, and having to be on my tank to watch people use a different strategy that, at least to me, seems like it'd be less effective as a special kind of frustrating. Should have done that. So, pro tip, you should try to be where your skill level is in regards to fields, practicing stuff. If you're a game designer, then you should always have your players be around the skills, around the plates that your skills will, and then get stuff comfortably. I've thought about progression in my games a lot. Not enough to like, not enough to go on a tangent in this rant, like freeform no filter rant. When I imagine difficulty, I imagine like player skill as kind of linear, and as a dev, your job is to figure out what wavy pattern that you want your players to receive as part of their challenge in a game. My fingers are getting pretty sore from holding my movement keys. So press on. This will be how I get off on this, not by playing Tetris and pressing things thousands of times, but playing Celeste and holding things for thousands of minutes and I die there. I imagine like a graph where player skill is a line that extends from the y-axis with a certain slope based on how fast players learn. And you, as a game designer, you can draw a function of any type. You can just squiggly, but it has to be the specifications of a function where you or it can't like intersect and loop back on itself in any place. Where the x-axis is time and the y-axis is skill. Some players will come in with like a pretty big number of skill. They have all the skill in the world from their prior experiences from games. And then their slope is how fast they learn, based on under ideal circumstances. How fast they may learn. So their skill improves over time. Now, as a game designer, what you have to be cognizant of is that one thing that players lack is variety. I'm of the opinion that you don't want your games to always be like completely linear in difficulty. Sometimes you want to throw the players a bone. Maybe other times you want to have a pretty hard challenge that if players struggle with, they can come back to. But if it's presented there, skilled players can use it to challenge themselves, like enrichment. It's part of gate. There's a whole incline. Because having enrichment is how you keep the higher skill players retained, and throwing a bone is how you keep the lower skill players retained. When you have a level that's too hard for a lower skilled player, then something that they're doing is learning less from it as well. Yeah, keep on demoing into that bubble. Yeah, demoing in a little bit. The rates of learning of like, yeah, so the graph is absolutely flawed. At times, yeah, I'm just messing up because I'm trying to think of two things at once. At times, the learning rates will be different based on how hard your own levels will be. Obviously. So if you have a really hard challenge, then in theory, the rates of learning will increase, but depending on your skill, you might be learning less, especially if that person like decides to just look up a solution in context of a puzzle game, or cheat their way through, if it's like a platformer or Souls-like or something. Then in those cases, they might be learning less, which means that they start to fall behind in the scale, and so they have no hope of doing the layer harder stuff. And so that's something that you want to prevent as a game designer. Everyone had adequate skill they'll be at in order to complete things successfully. If you're a skilled player, then things might get boring if they stay easy for too long, and you'll just lose interest in the game. Maybe you say like, oh, they can just try to speedrun it. But speedruns only happen after someone gets hooked on the game initially, in most circumstances. Whether that's from playing the game normally or by watching a video on it, as we see. You don't want to have like huge walls if you're not a very skilled gamer who doesn't learn very fast. You'll have to spend a lot of time on it. You can enjoy those things, but I feel like the rates of learning for different audiences is, I think that lower skilled players usually tend to learn slower. Like, this is all pure speculation, by the way. This is all theory. None of this I have any evidence for, but I imagine if you're like lower skilled overall, it's either due to something that you can't control, like a disability, or it's because you haven't improved like your overall game sense like outside of the game. Maybe it's because you don't play a lot of games. Maybe it's because you don't play high skilled games that challenge you a lot. There will be low skilled players, and accommodating them is an important part of game design. It's just ultimately what I'm trying to say. That was I demo hyper into that bubble, and yet I still managed to demo hyper out of it fine. I just didn't follow it up well. Yeah, it's bubble to the right. Should be ready for that section, but I'm using a lot of brain power. I'm just trying to commentate all of this. And around this point is also when the road is starting to hurt. I haven't really talked in the last few days to anyone really. I haven't been on Discord. Most of my time is spent watching videos or taking a walk around or playing a video game. So, and very few of that time is spent around other people, then your throat starts to become unused for a long time. It's probably like a bad thing, but it's more like indicative of a bad thing, isn't it? Oh, that was I demo hyper too late, unfortunately. I don't know why I dashed there. But Celeste, still very fun game. Having the patience and mentality to just go through all of these levels. Doesn't matter if I succeed or not, I'm still having fun. I think in my earlier years I was confused by this mentality of being happy with not succeeding. But back then I wasn't really playing any games where you could like fail a lot or just not succeed a lot. It's probably like just due to avoidance. I want to avoid the negative feelings that comes with failing, so of course I would just play less games that had failure as in canon. You just went down the rabbit hole of Roblox tycoon games. That was either too good. Very close. Very close to being done. What else can I talk about? The YouTuber Kotamao, who is on episode 460 something. Of course, nowhere near the end. 2 hours every day, 1,000 hours have passed since the beginning of the playthrough. Oh, no, or probably not even halfway there. If there's a new factory, and playing with fighters, it's probably going to take even longer. Stuff has to be reskilled up. Space has to be reclaimed for the factory, and it will grow. There's no changing that. Like I said, I want to do my own Pioneer exploration once Space Expedition comes out. I wonder if I have more free time then. It's too fast. wonder if I still have free time when Space Expedition comes out. Hopefully I still do. So I can play it. Okay, that was a pretty light hold. Yeah, that'll say that's fine. Pretty light hold. Missed me a little bit. Maybe I should get scanned more often. Seems to be very popular. I already made like 2, but technically 3 smartphones. Allowing myself to wait in the scam space, all the stuff. Right, it's this thing. This is the instant hyper, right? Is it? So this is a super and this is a hyper. That's a demo hyper, I guess. Let's see. What was that? I demoed out of there, but I had to do my instant hyper for the rest of that. Surely there's a way up here, right? There will be an exit for nothing. No? Is it down? It is down. Huh. That's interesting. What a suspicious looking bubble down there. Clearly we'll be going down this shaft. How close is that? So here we start with either a hyper bunny hop or a super, probably a super, then a hyper ultra. Then I guess that's neutral dash left. We demo to the left and then we input an instant hyper. Can you do this bubble? Go down, go right in. Go up left, do probably a hyper, extended hyper dash here, and then we go down to that one. And I think that should be the instant bubble. Not the instant bubble, the you know what I'm talking about. Not a hyper, super. Not a hyper. Probably not going to be editing this thing. Alright, so crouch dash and then instant hyper. I crouch dash into the bubble. Didn't do anything there. We'll just get into this room and I think I'll call it there. I can definitely see Alex having fun with this. There's really not a lot in here. You can just kind of input an extended hyper in that place. That'll be fine. So I think that's why I'm going to be. And then dash again. I hope Alex finds this one. It'll certainly take a long time, so better find it fun. Otherwise, you'll be stuck here, not having fun for a very long time. too fast. There's probably something to be said about how strawberries are hidden in this game, and how secrets work, platformers in general. That's probably not the time. Maybe if I run out of things to say in a future video, I'll do that. Oh, super works. I didn't mean to do that. Huge improvisation for me. Yeah. This looks like the fast bubble room. These walls are going right. Let's see. Extended hyper bubble. Upright, down. Then we do a hyper. Down right. Reverse wave. Upright, upright, super, up, upright, up, wall bounce, down right, left, upright, right, super, down right, down left, down right, do a demo, down right, down, reverse, super, I guess, upright, maybe we have to demo this, probably not, down right, up, then super, up, right, right, upright, right, right dash and ultra, down, demo, probably a demo hyper, if I can have that sort of a control over myself, but probably a super. Can't buffer a crouch dash out of another crouch dash. I don't know how that works with bubbles, so I'm not sure. Super should work fine though. Down right, down left, down right, down left, left, down left, wave dash, down right, upright, upright, up, upright, super, and then do a reverse hyper, yes, and then you walk line all the way up, neutral line, and then you get the berry, easy peasy. I wonder if there's some way to get into that space to the right or not. Maybe in debug mode we can. There's probably nothing though. Circumstances. Yeah, I think that'll be all for this video. I don't know how long this is. Probably a decent while. I think Patricia Taxon said that that's something like 6 months for Alex to do this room. Obvious hyperbole, but I think 1 month is not really hyperbole at this point. There's probably not 15 rooms in this thing, one for each day of the month, but I can definitely see this level taking a pretty long time, and he's not going to be doing one room per session. I feel there's probably at least some that take more than that, but I'm looking forward to that. That'll be the last yellow, and there's a couple of yellows before that. Belly of the Beast, you have Super Luminary. Belly of the Beast, I'm also looking forward to. Super Luminary, I'm kind of afraid of the jank. I know that Super Luminary has a lot of jank in it, even like using the intended methods. But maybe the fun of learning something new and something else to do will outweigh that, hopefully. But I enjoy having YouTubers enjoy the levels that they're playing, not even in a fun way. Well, hopefully in a fun way, but not in a fake way. It's something that is in the back of my mind when I'm watching Indie Game Chris play the Strawberry Jam levels, but it's probably not good to have these doubts. Alex, like, feels more genuine when he has some problems with rooms, even though I'm less likely to watch them because I enjoy having people enjoy these levels, and I'd be less likely to watch them if I do. I think it also extends into how I accept critique of stuff that I make in general. So yeah, I haven't watched the video that Alex put out today in full, partially because it didn't seem like he would enjoy that room all that much, because of just how like he's missing a tech that he's supposed to do and getting around it, so not doing things the correct way. That'll hamper your enjoyment of things, and things seem unnecessarily tight because they're doing the wrong thing. Regardless, I'll definitely be staying tuned for the next video by him on Monday of my time, which is going to feature probably even more jank, I know, from doing that room myself, and that routing in there is already pretty unintuitive, but it doesn't have any grounded ultras, I think. Actually no, maybe at the end there is. Might be another one at the end. Well, whatever the case is, I'll be looking forward to that video. So that'll be it for me though. Oops. Thanks for watching or listening. We'll continue this at a later point.